My name is Joseph Greco, owner of Vittoria's, a cafe that's been in my family for probably about 40 years. My father came from Sicily, and my uncle had the place here before him. He was baking bread, but things didn't work out for him. He had to leave the States. So my father took over the shop in 1969, late 69. I was still a little baby, about 1 year old. I've been here with my father since I was 12, 13. My father kind of grabbed me by the ear and says, "You've fooled around enough. Time for you to go to work." And he used to bring me on Sundays, which got me out of Sunday school. When we were young and everything was nice, we knew everybody. It was like a small town. We kind of lived here. It's like home. It's like home away from home, our shop here. We used to sleep in the back on the weekends. We had a little bunk bed all the way in the back of the store. Right back in the day, my father in Sicily started off working in nightclubs and serving coffee as a barista. He also was a nightclub singer, believe it or not. In the morning he would serve coffee, and in the evening he would sing. And that's what we're doing here now. Now I'm become the barista in the family. But what I do, my father could never imagine all the latte art and everything we do here now in the modern coffee shops. It actually impresses him. When I started taking over, we saw how the neighborhood was changing into a more modern place, less working class, less of the families that we knew that were living here were moving out. So I changed it from a bakery, in a sense, to more of a cafe. Now it's Vittoria Cafe rather than Vittoria Bakery. We're doing the old school style of brewing the coffee, and then the modern latte arts, what we've added to it. Growing up here and working here, we meet a lot of people coming in and out, and it's actually how I met my wife. She started working for us in the late 90s. She came in, spoke very little English, straight from Poland, and started working for my dad, and I started teaching her how to speak very well and showed her how it works, and eventually we grew together in a sense. We became an item and a couple. So now, let's say me and my wife are now running the shop, just like me, my father and my mother ran the shop in the beginning. The name of the shop is Vittoria. It's named after my mother. I always kid with my dad saying he probably was in a fight with her, and that's why he put her name on the store. Now that me and my wife are running the shop, and we have 2 kids now, and it looks like they're going to grow up in the same store that I did. Maybe not fooling around with the baked goods, but they're going to be fooling around with the coffee. They already like to play with the coffee beans and roll around in them. The neighborhood, in a sense, we used to, play outside of the bakery. Never left the block because it was a little shadier back then. You didn't know who was walking around. Nowadays, it's more like Manhattan, our little Brooklyn spot here. And there's a lot of young people, a lot of young families now growing up here, coming back actually, a lot of young families. So my kids are getting a feel of what actually Brooklyn is as a young kids. Definitely a second home for them. They walk right in. People look at them like, who are these 2 little girls? They're taking over the shop. And then they realize, oh, they must be the owner's kids. Let's hope that we could keep the place, and maybe my kids not run it like me, but at least have it. Have it for them to say, this is Pop's place, and this was Grandpa's place. That would be great. For me, that would be fantastic. Perfect ending. I'd be a little old man.